This is the all-new second generation XC90 that was launched in India last year. And just like any other all-new product, even this one has grown in size. It's got an all-new design, new interiors, more features, it's safer as well. In fact, the first lot of XC90s for India were immediately sold out. But the big question remains, can the all-new XC90 lock horns with the segment leader, the new Q7? Well, let's find out. The new XC90 is worlds apart from the earlier generation model and has a lot of Scandinavian influences. For example, the T-shaped Thor's hammer daytime running lights. This design element, along with the massive in-your-face grille, gives the XC90 a distinctive identity and a very aggressive front face. Park the car by the side of the road, switch on the hazards, and the Thor's hammer turns orange and makes the world stare in admiration. These headlamps would have looked at home in a concept supercar, and full marks to Volvo for putting these on a production SUV as well. And then there is this long never-ending bonnet which leads us to the passenger cabin. Now the side profile of the XC looks a bit conservative, but the 20-inch alloy wheels fill the arcs pretty well and they sure look very great. The shoulder line is almost flat, and this in turn is allowed for larger windows for the second and third rows. You also notice the door-mounted outside rearview mirrors and the horizontal chrome strip on the lower part of the body with Inscription embossing. It's the rear of the XC90 where similarity with the older model begins. For example, the inverted Y-shaped tail lamps. These look familiar and also showcase the immense width of the SUV. The Inscription version also gets silver skid plates at both the ends with neatly finished outlets for the exhausts. This new generation XC90 looks like a proper full-size SUV. It's handsome and has a lot of character, but then it also competes in a segment that has the new Q7 for company. But we still feel the XC looks better and meaner. The XC90 doesn't stop impressing you even when you climb into the vast, rich-looking cabin. For example, there are these tiny Swedish flags stitched into the seat leather on the sides. How cool is that? Only 8 buttons are all that can be found around the central console of the new XC90, lending it a very clean look. It features a smartphone-like 9-inch touchscreen that will surely become the talking point for owners who are gadget freaks or their young kids. This one shows you everything you'd want to know about the XC90: climate control, seats, car settings, lighting, navigation, and so on. You can also, like a smartphone, swipe, pinch or zoom the display with your own fingers. Now this is surely going to add to the wow factor of the SUV. And then there is this speedometer console which looks classy, and you can even change the way it looks with the touch of a button. I mean the touch of an infotainment screen. A big surprise is that this modern SUV comes with manual adjustment for the steering, and there are no paddle shifts on the avail for changing gears manually. As expected, the seats on the XC are massively comfortable. In fact, they have been designed with inputs from orthopedic surgeons, which means you can be rest assured of your back even after a non-stop 1000-kilometer long drive. Now, attention to detail inside the XC90 is remarkable. For example, look closely and you will notice a tower pattern on the small knobs that control the flow of air from the vents. And next, there's a natural unpolished wood that looks classy. Other exclusive touches include crystal glass finish for the start-stop knob and mode select button. Beautiful. The Inscription version also gets a standard 1400 watt Bowers & Wilkins sound system with 19 speakers, including an air-ventilated subwoofer. Now most XC90s sold in India will be chauffeur driven, which means the second row will be used a lot. Step inside and the first thing that you notice is a sense of space and airiness. Now this is mainly due to the large windows and a huge panoramic sunroof. Like the front seats, there is ample space here as well, and the seats recline, and while doing so, move just a bit forward to make sure your posture is just right. Only space limiting factor is this slightly raised transmission tunnel, which can be a hindrance for the passenger in the middle. The XC90 is a true 7-seater SUV. Boot space with all the 3 rows folded stands at 451 liters. Flip the last row and the boot space increases to 1102 liters. The same can be expanded to a massive 1951 liters by flipping the second row as well. The new XC90 has surely grown in size from the outside, but from a driver's perspective, it's not really a difficult car to drive in congested lanes or in traffic conditions, and the credit for this goes to the light steering and the excellent visibility from a driver's perspective. The windshield is big, the windows are large, so the overall visibility and the airy feel in the new XC90 is really very good. The XC90 comes with the all-new D5 2-liter diesel engine. On paper, it's a small motor, but you'll be surprised when you drive the car. Throttle response and the overall responsiveness from the engine is really very nice. It tends to showcase that it's a car with a much bigger engine, and overall performance across various RPMs is more than satisfactory. Of course, outright acceleration is not as good as the Q7, and even the NVH levels leave a lot to be desired. I would say the Q7 is much quieter on the inside and much quicker as well. Now, one thing that is not changed about the XC90 is the overall comfort. Of course, most owners will be chauffeur driven and will be sitting at the back, and from there, be it the visibility part or the comfortable seats or even the suspension, the XC90 really scores top marks. And furthermore, the last row, the third row in the XC90 is more usable than, for example, the Audi Q7. So if you have 2 kids, they can easily be seated in the last row and will not be complaining. Now, the older XC90 was always known for its comfortable drive, and this one is no different. The car starts in the comfort mode by default, and in this mode, the suspension tackles all the common undulations and bumps on the road very easily. You want to go fast, you're on the highways at high speed, you can select the dynamic mode and suspension lower slightly, and you can further enjoy the drive. The gears will hold on to a higher RPM, the steering will become slightly more sharper. So as an owner who wants to drive his cars on the weekends, dynamic should be your mode. Now, the Q7 might be the most popular luxury SUV in India, but the new XC90 has also raised the bar. It looks simply stunning. The interiors are spacious and feature-loaded, is the most efficient of the lot, and also has the lowest take-up price. Now, that said, the XC90 still has a couple of shortcomings. A is the overall performance, and B is the limited dealer network. Now, that also affects the resale value. But that said, if you want an SUV to announce your arrival in the grandest way possible, it has to be with the XC90. On that note, I'll take you leave from here till the next time. Take care, drive safe, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the CarDekho channel.
Do subscribe to the CarDekho YouTube channel for all automotive updates and latest launches.